Welcome to a different kind of Monkey Meadows. This alteration of Monkey Meadows is created by Ace744, and that's the code right there. Check it out for yourselves if you'd like to do so for yourselves. We're going to be placing down Sauda here to start us off, and we are aiming to get every cheapest tier 5 primary tower. So the cheapest of a Dart Monkey, the cheapest of a Boomerang, cheapest of Bomb, cheapest of Tack, cheapest of Ice, and cheapest of Glue, accompanied by a 420 village. And we're going to see if we can get through this map together. Our Glaive Lords will be here. Hopefully I said Lord correctly, though I don't think I did. But that is the status quo for me, always pronouncing stuff incorrectly. Our Ultra Juggernaut will be here. Not the best place because of this lamp post, but I would say for our predicament here, it is a suitable spot for it. We've got lots of trees around us, lots of houses, well not lots, but a few buildings here and there, barrels, lots of obstacles which would normally be a bad thing. But with the Juggernaut and the Ultra Juggernaut, it's a good thing because it rebounds rather than makes the projectile disappear or explode. Round 21 and things are very chill at the moment, but as with any scenario on a custom map, if we do lose, then you would have to start from round 6 all over again, which is not the best thing ever, but that is what we have at our disposal until Ninja Kiwi gives a means to be able to do a challenge editor in a custom map, which would be glorious. Imagine like a 1% scenario on the longest map, so balloons only go at 1% the speed than they normally would. Ooh, we have the sweet spot here. And we're going to place it down and hope that, yes, the Dart Monkey is in range of our village here, which is lovely. Let's proceed forward with the game. But I just wanted to pause it so that I'm able to place the monkey village down without wasting too many rounds. And alongside that, losing the game as well because we don't have enough firepower to go through these rounds. Primary training, then primary mentoring, which means our other primary towers which we'll place down will be just a tad bit cheaper when it comes to the tier 1 upgrades being for free. Primary mentoring is here, and alongside that, any abilities which we will have 3 of with the glue, the ice and the bomb. It will take less time for their abilities to cool down, which is very good for us. Any ability cooldown reduction is brilliant when it comes to casting them, especially if you just like to press and constantly hold down the shortcut for it. Otherwise you may find yourself, I don't know, tearing your hair off if there wasn't a shortcut for it, like in the first Bloons tower defense game where you have to go to the monkey and then manually click on it. Let's see, round 40, first Moab. That will be enough to get us through the round there. Lovely. Our attack shooter will be here and our bomb tower will be there. And then as well, our glue gunner will be here, leaving the ice monkey to be placed in between the wonderful Boomerang and the Dart Monkey here. Let's go to more glaives and then let's go to radar scanners so that everything will have the means to be able to hit cameras, not just Sauda, not just our soon to be Ultra Juggernaut, not our Absolute Zero, which will cross path with the top one, and from the Ultra as well, the ability of the glue gunner as well. Super Maelstrom's going to be our first tier 5 primary tower, and honestly this is brilliant with combination of our primary mentoring because this thing has a fast enough cooldown as it is, but stacking with prime mentoring and it's going to be a very quick cooldown for it to recover. And if you are able to as well, get yourself an Energizer, and it's like if it has a 100% uptime. Our Ass Inn is here, and soon we will have the successor to the Ass Inn, the Eliminator. Before coming up with this idea, I did want to do a 2 megapots with the Super Maelstrom on this map, but I honestly couldn't get myself past round 40 without constantly seeing the game over screen. Like, I'd have Geraldo on the field, I'd have a submarine in one of these cauldrons, but I just could not get it to work really. Like, I'm sure that a much better player will be able to make it work just fine, but for my current skill levels at this game, they are insufficient in order to get us through this scenario with a 2 megapots in mind. And I'm certain as well a 2TC would be possible, but you would have to use towers which are very commonly used. Aside from the Elite Vortex and Monkey Meadows Nightmares inducing, I've never done a video on Monkey Meadows before. Like, it is a map that is always introduced to you. Or is it? No, that's Town Center. That's like the first map you introduced in the game when you first load it up. But Monkey Meadows is definitely the map that you always see on the first page when you go into the game. Like, when you select a map, it is always there, frontmost and foremost, in order to select. So it's definitely an iconic map in its own natures. And a few decades have passed, and the gardener has unfortunately gone somewheres, and now the gardens themselves have been sort of deserted. But there's also other things as well, like these squares here, people, well, monkeys have decided to build homes in. There's all these barrels around as well, which they can store things in. Cauldrons, because they're black magic monkeys that delve into the arcanic stuff. They all believe that they can become the next Magus Perfectus. All that sort of black sorcery shenanigans, which we do not want to delve ourselves into. Our next tier 5 is going to be the Glaive Lord, and we will go from there. Do you want Ultra Juggernaut? But I think Glaive Lord is going to be the next important one to get. Super Maelstrom, definitely the first one to get because of A, its ability cooldown being very small, and B, it is very powerful. Yes, I'm speaking a bit quieter today. On occasion, I would like to do a video where I'm not picking up the tempo and just chill out and relax and not try and provide an over-exuberant experience, which some people are turned off by, which I understand. But then there are other people out there that like the louder experience, the more thrilling gladiatorial action sort of thrills that come within these endeavors that we embark ourselves on when playing a game involving balloons and darts and monkeys, and the monkeys throwing the darts at the balloons and all that kind of shenanigans. So yeah, aside placing down the village here, we have not needed to remove the fast forward speed at any given point in time. And my question to you is this map easier than the real Monkey Meadows, one that Ninja Kiwi themselves, you know, put onto the game when it first released? That Monkey Meadows, the iconic Monkey Meadows. And I would say, in some ways, yes, because the balloons are traveling in 2 directions. But I would say it is more of an intermediate map because of the obstacles here, and also the fact that you're dealing with balloons coming from 2 different directions. And one of the main things that was struggling for me is to be able to determine how close a balloon is from being able to complete its way around the entire circuit of the map. Like, I'm not too sure if the balloon itself is either close to the exit or at the very beginning of the map, unless I see like the traveling direction which it goes in. And if you have Geraldo and his creepy idols, then it's really dangerous to see if a balloon is either at the very beginning of its travels, or is it that very exit, because it is traveling that direction, and I don't know if it's one way or the other way. So That's why I was kind of put off from doing like a 2 megapops or a 2 TC, because you are heavily reliant on Geraldo when it comes to 2 megapops, because Geraldo is the hero for support. Provides many little benefits that all stack up. Camera detection, later on the means to pop leads, being able to increase the firepower but at the same time reduce speed, makes sharp projectiles do more pierce at first and then both more pierce and more damage. So that's where we are at in this scenario. Just spamming our Super Maelstrom. We're going to get ourselves Glaive Lord at the end of this round and hope all is going to be well in this scenario. That's round 79 taken care of, which means our next round is round 80. Let us trigger ourselves our wonderful missile here, which is going to be key actually against the bat. So I'm glad that this is the cheapest tier 5 route of the bomb tower, because, well, Balloon Crush is just way out of our price tags and it is too impractical for this scenario. I want towers that does the damage or does the stalling, so that the towers that do the damage can do the damage even more. So we have ourselves our Glue Storm here. I could have gone with top path, but honestly I prefer the benefits of going bottom path. And when it comes to the total cost, I'm not going for the cheapest cross path. I'm just going with the cheapest tier 5 of that particular tower and not the cheapest like overall cost. So if something is 16k, but the top path is 350 and the bottom path is 340, I'm not forcing myself to go down the cheapest cross path, unless of course money was absolutely pivotal towards where getting the cheapest cross path meant I can get tier 5 of all of the cheapest primary towers here. So that is where we are at in this scenario. Still going very strong here. The Super Maelstrom is absolutely dominating all of these balloons, but actually looking at it, our Glaive Lord is doing most damage at the moment. Jashi Sauda starts off us very well in this scenario, but these primary towers will carry us the rest of the way here. Lovely. Our time with these ZMGs will be coming to a close as we are about to transpire to round 88. Lovely. So this means now we are nearing the stage where we're going to be facing the thing that is scaring me the most in this scenario, DDTs. They are fast buggers to deal with it, and if you don't have a means of popping both leads, blacks, and camos simultaneously, then your tower is not going to do too well against a DDT. Like, not a lot of people, not everyone knows that the DDT has the lead property, the black property, and the camo property, which means it cannot be hit by a tower that doesn't have camo detection. It cannot be hit by most means of explosives, and it cannot be hit by sharp projectiles. So you have all of these different things to consider here. And you may have like Quincy that can target a black balloon with its darts, or a lead balloon with its explosive, arrows, sorry, not darts, explosive arrows. But it has to be a projectile that can pop both blacks, leads, and also at the same time camos, which is why Quincy is useless against DDTs unless it has like a perma-brew or an MIB or some other means of being able to pop a DDT, which is why I think looking into the game and trying and erroring it for yourself in order for you to try and see things for yourself is probably the best way in order to learn a game, not just always refer to someone's guide. Like, that sometimes is, not being funny, but it sometimes is the cheapest way in order to try and find out something rather than finding out for yourself. Obviously, if you're like in absolute desperation, then yes, looking it up is definitely the best choice. But when it comes to the discoverability of certain things, sometimes it feels much more refreshing and much more satisfying if you are able to discover things without doing external research, which I think is the beauty of like certain like puzzle games. Like, there are difficult puzzles in certain puzzle games, and having the thrill of being able to try and be the first in the world outside of the developers to try and have a map puzzles is sometimes a very satisfying experience, being the first to do something. Like for me, one of my proudest moments on this channel is doing the Crossbow Master Ultra Boost 2-Tower Chimps. Like that was not down to a level of skill in which I have. It just comes down to, for me, a level of perseverance and a never-ending desire of wanting to prove that that combination could be possible. So now the only tier 5 left we have to get is the Moab Eliminator, and then we'll be there for all of the tier 5 primary towers, which are the cheapest in each tower. So Dart, Boomerang, Bomb, here we go, here it is, and the Glue, and the other one, I've forgotten his name now. Tack, there we go. So that is all about round 100. It's just a matter of Moab Eliminators. Do that, do that. No need to use absolute zero. It is useless at this given point in time. Should have used the Eliminator a bit sooner there. Don't know why I didn't use it sooner. Locking chains, use it again. You knocked it out, and the DTs were not a threat whatsoever. So let's have a little bit of a look at this map, actually. And we're just... I can't turn the slider down. I guess we're going to have to look at this map with the never-ending reign of the Glue Storm. I guess it is a storm in itself because it lasts... Oh, it's gone now. That's okay. I don't mind it. So we have ourselves our cheapest glue gunner tier 5 down, cheapest tier 5 tack shooter down, cheapest tier 5 bomb tower down, cheapest tier 5 dart, cheapest tier 5 ice, cheapest tier 5 boomerang. That's all 6 of those alongside our lovely hero Jianshi Sauda, which is actually my favorite skin out of the others. Like the other two are a bit too energetic for me, whereas Sauda is just the right level of a little bit of energy, but also a bit of calmness to the seas. Speaking of seas, what are these cauldrons doing here anyways? What kind of thing are these residents brewing up here? And whose is whose? Does that one own that cauldron and that one owns that cauldron? Or is there some kind of topsy-turvy ownage of these different properties around here? But my other question is, what's this mushroom doing here? I'm really sus about this particular house. Wait a minute, does Etienne live in this house because his little cat is outside here? That's definitely a mystery in and of itself. We may never know. But Monkey Meadows is a very iconic map. And I hope you all enjoyed this scenario despite it being a bit more of a chilled out experience, which some of you really like, which I thoroughly appreciate. Some people say they love the gameplay, but they also love the chilled out voice, which I'm most comfortable with doing. Like there's a target audience out there for the louder voice, which is more appealing to a younger demographic, but I'm not about that younger demographic, but I'm always welcome to anybody and everybody for coming along board. As long as you can tolerate this kind of violence against balloons, it doesn't matter who you are, where you come from, or anything like that, you are welcome to watch my videos. The only criteria I have is if you're not a horrible person. Thank you all so much for watching. Let me know what you thought of this scenario. What do you think about this map? Yes, our Ice Monkey probably is the least poppage of our popping towers. Like this could probably get a few pops, but I decided to go for the bottom cross path instead. So thank you all so much for watching. Our Glaive Lord definitely did all of the work here, but it is the cheapest of the boomerangs, and it is one of my favorite tier 5 upgrades of any primary tower. It is a very diverse tower, and its glaives around it, or orbit around it, can pop camos by itself, which is lovely. And obviously with Red Heart Reigns, it's able to damage and pop DDTs. Thank you all so much for watching. This has been Monkey Meadows After Decades by Ace744. I've already given it a lovely favorite. I'll give it a like as well. Thank you all so much for watching. Let me know what other custom maps you'd like to see me do next, along with what kind of scenario you'd like to see me do next. And we're still stuck in the void, for goodness sakes, Ninja Kiwis. Why has this not been fixed yet? We're still in update 39.2, There usually is an update 30-something.3, isn't there? Or maybe it's just me. Thank you all so much for watching and take care of yourselves, everybody.